I tweeted before. I'm on my phone, so I tweeted already.
All right, we're live.
All right, we're live. It's the Spinnin Backfist MMA show for Friday, October 6th. This date, October 6th. I hate it.
Yeah.
Every year it comes back around and I see the tweets. It's been X amount of years since Khabib beat Conor, blah, blah, blah. I've seen the tweets, guys. You could stop tagging me in them. I get it.
Where's my belt? Where's my belt, Dana?
And he's like, if I give you this belt, there's going to be garbage thrown in here. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this,
brother.
The Spinnin Backfist.
Dana's theory there that there would have been
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
All out war
If they gave him the belt.
Like, I get what happened after was crazy, but like Khabib beat him fair and square.
Yeah, I think he was too just wrapped up in the chaos and too, whatever. But the Spinnin Backfist show is brought to you by Monaco. And now usually we have the table lined up with all the Monaco cans. It looks great. We love the can designs and everything. Today we've only got the Kentucky coffee because at some point between our last show and this show, someone stole the Monaco.
48 hours.
48 hours. Yeah, the Monaco's gone. So it's that good where you literally cannot keep this stuff in stock.
So we're going to have to lock this bad boy up because it's the only thing we got.
Yeah, and that's not going to last long if the other stuff went as quickly as it did.
I have a theory that somebody picked it up and put it somewhere, but I don't know.
I just don't know where they would put it. We left it in here so we could do the Monaco.
And for those, just a little inside Barstool, like we leave it in here every time.
Yeah.
We've been doing it.
It's got a spot.
And there's a bunch of other brands that also leave their stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the drinks in it, the ones that we use, they like maybe expired because they're
probably
they're like months old
for display purposes.
They're display purposes, yeah.
Yeah, but someone hopefully enjoyed those if they took them.
Yeah, look at the Kentucky coffee's still here. Whiskey that never gets old.
The whiskey's great, especially for the mornings. You put a little bit in your coffee or something like that. But also you've got the normal cans that have 2 shots of tequila in them. You've got the hard lemonade, 2 shots of vodka. 9% alcohol. The normal stuff is great as well. You'll probably see it in the Octagon this weekend. An Apex card. I assume Monaco will be advertising with them.
100%. I think they're pretty much all around in the American cards. If there's an American card, they're there. So,
and we'll be watching the card this weekend. It's a good card. It's not another one of those cards where it kind of is going to fly under the radar because football's back and people are going to be mostly focused on that without huge names on this card. But there's a lot of good matchups.
A lot of good matchups. I'm just tweeting out this link. Get the people in here. Shout out everybody. We also have Bellator this weekend as well.
That's right, Bellator 300.
Bellator 300. Do you see that they had a nice poster?
Yeah, very nice poster. And it kind of is like looking back at the whole history of Bellator. Kimbo's on there, Rampage Jackson, a bunch of their legends. Breaking news, the Alimale McFarlane fight still on, but she is now no longer eligible to win the title tonight. She missed weight twice today. So that fight has a little hindrance in it, a little obstacle to overcome.
Is Ev,
you there?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
No, I
thought he was frozen for a sec. You were fake frozen.
Just still. Just calm. Like
Ev is in Chicago right now for the college football show. He just recorded that, I assume, right?
Yep, in Chicago. Just finished, about to get on the plane back right after this, so I'll be back tonight.
Bellator's tomorrow, I think.
No, it's tonight, I believe.
Tonight.
I think it's Friday. It's tonight.
I think it's tonight. Or no, it's tomorrow because they weighed in just now. They weighed in just now, so it's got to be tomorrow.
I thought it was tonight. I must have misread.
No,
it's usually on Friday nights, which I think I
do
Friday
love
nights
a lot. Yeah,
I think this one's tomorrow.
It's a good card too. Bellator's got a good card. UFC's got a good card. We've got a lot of good fights to get into this weekend. Also, did you guys see Gamebred MMA announced their full card? They've got like tons of UFC fighters, 12 former UFC fighters on it.
I like that.
The guy Jason Knight's fighting Randy Costa.
Yeah, and that I think is bare knuckle. I think it's bare knuckle MMA.
It is.
Yeah. Are all the fights bare knuckle or no?
I think so. The last they do, I think when he does it, he does like all the same. Like when he did the last one, the headliner was Big Country.
Yeah, and Big Country's the headliner this time again too, I think.
Yeah, because I remember he was losing, then he knocked the guy out, I think, in the 3rd round. But
it's Roy Nelson versus Alan Belcher for the vacant Gamebred heavyweight title.
I like
You've
that.
got Hector Lombard on the card. Chase Sherman, he's on the card.
Shout out Chase Sherman.
He's always getting that bag.
Jason Knight, yeah. Jason Knight, Randy Costa. Randy Costa always had. I mean, one of the, I'm going to do a pause at the beginning of this, but one of the better looking guys that ever fight in the UFC.
True.
He's a looker. So, but I mean, being a looker and then doing bare knuckle, I mean, I guess it kind of adds to the allure. But like,
I mean, Luke Rockhold, he was the first. He was trying to be like a Ralph Lauren model, and then he went to bare knuckle and got his teeth punched out.
Yeah, but he was on the record like, I'm not doing that again, right?
Yeah, he's like, fuck that.
But I feel like he got a big bag for that fight.
Yeah, he probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Also, speaking of that, Mike Perry connected and whatnot. Yesterday, it seemed for a little bit that Dylan Dennis had pulled out of the Logan Paul fight.
I personally got worked.
I said, fuck this, I'm out. And then Mike Perry posted a video where he said, it's official, guys, I'm in. And then everyone assumed Dylan Dennis was out of the fight. I believe he's not out of the fight because he then tweeted, like, everyone, you guys take things so seriously, blah, blah, blah.
It's like, pussy bitch boy, I'll be there on October 14th.
Yeah. I think Dylan Dennis is coming into the office today.
Yeah.
I say I think because he was supposed to come in earlier in the week. He flaked. If he comes in, we'll ask him about all this. We're going to record that interview and then air it later.
Yes. It will be today. I'm excited, but I'm pre-excited because until we hear he's in the building,
I don't know if I'll believe it. Yeah. We'll see.
It will. And I have some questions I want to ask him. He seems like a pretty open guy.
Yeah. I saw him on Helwani. I saw him on Schultz's podcast. He's talking about everything. But yeah, I'm not like, me and Dylan have had a good relationship, and we.
I want to ask him how many guys he thinks he can beat in the UFC right now.
Yeah, like
all weight classes.
His tweet about John Jones ducking him the other day. He called John Jones the dodging king, and I was just like,
he
Dylan.
He tweeted at John Jones again this morning, I think.
Yeah. So we'll get into all that with Dylan.
He's the king of New York.
Yeah,
even though he lives in Hoboken.
We got to check in with him. Yeah. And one other thing before we get into the card, Henry Cejudo has reportedly accepted a fight against Merab in January. You guys see that?
Yeah, the Toronto card.
Yeah.
That Toronto card seems like it's almost 100% confirmed.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it like it is.
And Topuria, it looks as if he's not really in camp yet, but he's pretty close to being in camp.
Yeah.
They just announced that Brad Katona is fighting someone on that card too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he's fighting. I just saw that. Yeah, he's fighting Garrett Armfield.
That's who it is. There we go. Good scrap.
So that should be a good card. And the Toronto crowd is always good, so they'll be living it up. Hopefully GSP will be in the crowd. They get to show them, get a big pop for the legend there. Now let's talk about this weekend's card, headlined by Grant Dawson versus Bobby King Green.
Before you go, Robbie, what would you line Merab against Cejudo?
Good question. Sheesh.
I'm going to say Merab. Wow.
Merab slightly.
He's looked so good. I was going to say Merab minus like 140.
That's exactly the number I had in mind. That's fucked up that you said that because that's exactly what I was thinking. After the Cejudo Aljo fight, seeing how that went, and then kind of just like slotting in Merab into that Cejudo or into that.
I still think Cejudo looked pretty good in that Aljo fight. Yeah,
he did.
I mean, I honestly watching it live, I thought he won.
Yeah, me too. I was obviously with Ev, listening to the scorecards, I thought, and I had a bet on Aljo. I was like, this isn't going to go my way.
And thinking back, how did the last two rounds go? Because you're going to remove those for this. It's a 3-round fight, I would assume.
I think they split them. I think so.
Yeah.
I was going to say minus 125, Merab, but it'll be interesting.
I think the 3-round fight favors Merab. Do you agree with that?
They both have elite cardio. Merab
they have great cardio, but I feel like Merab starts faster than Cejudo does.
That is true. Merab, it's a great matchup. I mean,
Cejudo does have that Dillashaw finish in the first round too.
Yeah, and Cejudo, I think, if you want to talk about a guy who's top tier strategically, always thinking from a high fight IQ scenario, he is definitely that. Merab is definitely, not to call him low IQ, he's a little bit just go in there and just like
Ev would call him low IQ.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's low IQ in his business acumen.
Yeah.
Anyways, that fight's going to be sick. I can't wait for that. Obviously, Topuria Volk's one of the most exciting cards or fights in the upcoming few months for me.
Yeah. Someone in the chat, MPI, says fight to go the distance -500.
Yeah.
Probably a pretty good point. Now let's get into this weekend's card. We kick things off with Montana De La Rosa. Did we lose him? He's back.
No, we're good. We're good.
We begin with De La Rosa versus JJ Aldrich. De La Rosa a slight favorite on this one. I would take a shot on Aldrich at +110.
Yeah. My only concern with Aldrich is like pretty good, not phenomenal. Same with De La Rosa, but I feel like De La Rosa has just, I mean, she has great wrestling. I even think she kind of looked good against Tatiana until she got put in, I think it was an armbar, or it was maybe it was some form of submission. All that being said, this line movement's been all over the place. I would probably lean JJ right now.
Yeah, I like De La Rosa, but not like super confident. I don't even know if I'm gonna play it, but I kind of like De La Rosa.
The next fight in the flyweight division, Nate Maness versus Mateus Mendoza. Mateus Mendoza has one fight in the UFC against Basharat, where he lost unanimous decision. But he is the heavy favorite in this fight. I think he's like -250.
Nate Maness is a madman.
He is. He's a savage.
He's a savage. I kind of like him to maybe make this close. It's Mendonca, right?
Is it Mendonca?
Yeah, which is I like that better than Mendoza.
Yeah, that is Mendonca sounds like he's gonna fucking donk you.
Yeah, I like Nate Maness. I think he comes from Kentucky. He's a crazy man. Where's he fight at?
Let's see. The UFC's website kind of, no offense, but it's not great. Tapology is like way better for that kind of shit. Nate Maness.
Anyways, Ev, I don't know if you like Maness as well. He may be a good
Kentucky.
Yeah,
Kentucky Coffee.
Kentucky Coffee. He's a Kentucky Coffee Play of the Week. He's a crazy man, and I kind of like that. Yeah.
Oh, his gym is nice guy submission fighting.
Nice.
Not so much of a nice guy when he gets in that octagon.
Yeah, I like Maness kind of a lot actually. He was on a really good run, and then he lost to Umar at 135, and then lost to Tagir Ulanbekov, who was like very good. Who's like very good. And I mean, before that, he beat a few good guys in a row. I think he was also before that, he was, for some reason, I think the odds makers just don't like him. Like in the 3 fights prior, he was a big dog a bunch of them. He won them all. I think he was on a 3-fight win streak. Maness here plus like 190, 200, I think it's way off.
Yeah.
Like I think this line should be like, I think this should be almost like a coin flip fight. I think I like Maness's cardio better. His like strength of schedule, record, whatever you want to call it, is better.
Yep.
I'll gladly take Maness as almost a 2-1 dog.
Yeah.
Then this next fight, the odds are, is this the heaviest odds swing of the fight of the entire night? I think it might be. Vanessa Demopoulos versus Kanako Murata. Murata's like -350, -360. Probably correct in that. I think it's probably going to be a quick one.
Yeah, no, not playing it for me. Just women's MMA is scary like that. But no, I'm not playing anything in this fight.
Yeah, yeah. Vanessa Demopoulos is just not very good. But Kanako is all right as well. I'm gonna sit this one out.
And then you've got the Mongolian murderer. I think that's his name, right? Yeah, the Mongolian murderer. Ayla Quing. Is that how you say his name? Ayla Quing?
It's hard to say.
It's real hard to pronounce. We got to get John Anakin for that one. He's taking on Johnny Munoz, though, in what should be a pretty good fight. I think it's even odds. Pick 'em. First fight of the night. Or no, I guess the first fight of the night is pretty even odds-wise, but you get two swung ones, and then this one is closer again.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm not a big Johnny Munoz guy. He actually is somebody who I'm pretty sure that was one of Maness's wins, actually, was over Johnny Munoz, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'm gonna actually play it, but I just don't think Munoz is like that good. I'll take Ora King. I think he's a little more pop.
Yeah.
I think he's a little more of his game.
Ora King going into his last fight, he lost to who knocked him out? It was on the Canada card, right? Somebody knocked him out.
Was it Zahabi?
Zahabi knocked him out.
Yeah. Actually, I bet Zahabi in that fight, but I like Zahabi.
Munoz just goes loss, win. His record is literally just he flips every fight.
I'm with Ev. I'm not a big Johnny Munoz guy at all.
Now, that being said, he lost his last fight, so he might be on track for a win. That's like
I will
Gianni
say,
the Greek would bring that up as a legitimate reason why to bet him.
Casey Humphrey, great point. Or Eric, or however you say his name, does swing bombs. He's going to go in there and he's going to swing. I kind of like him getting into a fight, like a war here, and finding a finish. So I'm not that confident in him, but I think by fight time, I'll lay a little bit on him.
Then we've got Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Diana Belbita. Kowalkiewicz actually a favorite in this one. She's back in the rankings. She's 15, on a bit of a run.
Yeah, she kind of like
she got 2 wins in a row,
and she was almost. You remember that her fight? There was one where she was going up against somebody else who had 3 straight losses or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was yes, Harrig.
And she's kind of turned it around since then. She won, and I mean
3 wins in a row since then.
She's had a little bit of a renaissance
career. Yeah.
I don't have a particular read here. I guess Karolina. Actually, I'm going to be with Belbita.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think this run is nice. It's a nice Cinderella story at the end of her career.
Karolina's old, man.
I mean, eventually, like, it's got to come crashing
and
down.
Belbita is like, I mean, she's nothing special, but hasn't weighed in yet.
One of Romania's only fighters, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to play it, but I'll go with Karolina. The show goes on.
All right.
The run continues.
And then the prelim headliner in the light heavyweight division is Ion Cutelaba versus Felipe Lins. This should be a banger. I'm really excited for this fight. This could be fight of the night, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I like Lins as the dog. Cutelaba, I don't know. Like, betting him as a favorite, I'm just not. He's just so, like, hit or miss where obviously he throws hard. Like, he can knock people out. He throws bombs. But he's somebody who, like, when the tide turns, it just turns fast on him, I feel like. Like, even when I remember it was the Nchekwu fight, was it, or something? He like had this great first round of wrestling. He gets hit with like one shot, which obviously that's MMA. You get hit like 4-ounce gloves, you get hit, things happen. But I think sometimes he just folds, and I think Lins is just like more. I think Lins is a little more durable. I think he's a better striker. Like, he's more like technical. I like Lins.
Hey guys, how do you watch Bellator? Well, without Showtime, I mean, you're asking us how to legally stream.
Yeah,
you have to buy Showtime.
Showtime is the way to legally watch.
Yeah. I mean, do what you want to do.
The prelims are on YouTube.
Yeah, prelims on YouTube, and I'm sure you could find like some illegal cracked streams or something like that for Bellator, but the legal way is Showtime.
Here in this fight, I do feel like Lins, like maybe even Lins round 2, round 3. Cutelaba does have that burst in the beginning, but then
I don't like Cutelaba. I think I'm biased against him. I think he's such a hardo.
He's one of the biggest hardos ever.
Of course, yeah.
You guys seen this week at media?
Yeah.
He went full like heel turn. He's just wearing a suit.
Yeah.
He looks like he works on Wall Street this week.
He also just loves. There's I think it was against Glover, right? Or was it? What's the one where he went up to the guy before the fight, going crazy, like in his face?
They tried to like fight before the fight almost. It was a while ago too.
I feel like he's
was
done
it
that a couple times.
Ankalev fight that they remember it got stopped in the first round like immediately
because
he was faking.
He was
faking hurt.
Yeah, and then they did it again,
and then they ran it back. Was it then? Yeah.
Yeah, Ankalev knocked him out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate him as a fighter because he'll go in there and he goes crazy. Robbie hates how he does the Hulk paint. Yeah, he's not worthy of Hulk paint. And then we're on to the main card. And the main card kicks off with Alexander Hernandez versus Bill Algeo. Are you guys still on the Alexander Hernandez train? You have been for the majority of this podcast.
100%.
Life. You are.
But this line movement's been all over the place. He was the underdog earlier in the week. And now
UFC has him as plus 120. I don't know what he is on Sports.
Yeah, he was minus like 130 I've seen up to.
Yes, he's been all over the place right now. I see him, minus 130, as low as minus 118. I like him here, but I do also think a lot of people are comparing Bill Algeo to Billy Q in terms of just high pace and what Billy Q did to Alexander Hernandez. But I have to ride with Alexander Hernandez here, without a doubt. This would be his second straight win, and then we roll from there. Like, this is how, like, it's like people would have laughed at, like, Charles Oliveira when he was on his losing streak and then
don't, Jack Mack, don't.
True.
Well, they would have
Hernandez.
They would have laughed at him.
Sure,
if I said Oliveira would,
he ain't Charles.
All I'm saying is,
Charles.
We take it fight by fight.
Yeah.
The only easy day was yesterday, so we just roll from there.
Ev, what do you think?
No, I do like Hernandez in this fight because to me, it's more about. It's not even much about Hernandez. I do think he's explosive and all that. I don't think Algeo is that good. I think Algeo is like decent at best. I mean, honestly, in that fight that we saw him, I think it was on Long Island. Like, he should have lost to Herbert Burns, who I think stinks. Herbert Burns had him very close to the finish and the submission. And I don't like Algeo. I mean, people comparing Algeo to Billy Q. I don't think he has nearly like the striking, like he doesn't do nearly the damage that Billy Q does. Billy Q pours it on guys. We've seen him do that a bunch of times. I can't like Algeo does not do it in the manner that Billy Q does. I think Alex Hernandez is better. I think if Alex Hernandez, like, I think he can get him out of there fast potentially. Algeo is somewhat durable, but I mean, if Hernandez loses this fight, done. Like, bye.
No.
I'm not saying like out of the UFC or anything, but just like he's just if you go down to 145 now, if you're losing to Bill Algeo, you're just like not that good. Period.
Right. I agree.
Period.
I want it on the record that it was others comparing Bill Algeo to Billy Q. I think Billy Q is a much better fighter. But
agreed. That's agreed.
Yeah. So So I mean we need a win here. Alexander Hernandez.
The next fight, I think the odds are probably correct about. It's Drew Dober versus Ricky Glenn, and Drew Dober is a massive favorite. I see him getting back on track this one. Do you think Ricky Glenn even has a shot? Either of you guys?
Theoretically, yes.
More than like a punch.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think the most likely outcome I see this fight is Dober knocking him out. But
Drew Dober should get back on track, and not to take away from Frivola. Frivola hits hard, and he really looked good in that fight. I would say, Frivola is much better than Ricky Glenn as well. But maybe this is like kind of we see Dober take a step back. That being said, Dober's biggest thing is his chin, and in his last fight, he didn't get knocked. He did get KO'd in terms of, but it wasn't like he got his lights turned. He was still with it, which goes to show how hard Frivola hits and how well he game planned that fight and fought. But I guess Ricky Glenn could put together a great fight. I think the odds reflect what this fight is in my mind. Yeah, like everyone's saying in the chat, I agree.
Dober round one.
Dober
KO,
round one.
Dober
KO,
via murder. Dober.
I think I like Dober enough that I think he's like parlay piece, like worthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think he's much better than Ricky Glenn. I'd be surprised if he lost.
Then we've got Alex Morono versus Joaquin Buckley. Another one where should be a pretty good fight. I think it's pretty even. Joaquin Buckley's -170 favorite on the UFC website. Alex Morono, not a bad play as an underdog, I don't think.
So I love Morono just as a fighter. Like, I feel like I've bet him a billion times. I think where we've seen Morono struggle is against guys that are a little bit taller than him, bigger than him. But Joaquin is pretty good.
Shorter than him? He's got a longer reach, but he's shorter.
The thing about Buckley is he's there to be hit. That being said, Morono doesn't really have them. He does have 2 knockouts in his last 2 fights, I think. No, his last 3. I think he knocked out Cerrone, got knocked out by Santiago.
And Santiago, he should have knocked out. He had Santiago on the ropes like the whole fight.
Submitted Tim Means.
Oh, he submitted Tim Means. All that being said, I do like Morono as an underdog play. The only thing that concerns me is he doesn't have that knockout power that, as we've seen Buckley kind of fall to in the past. But I've always liked Morono. Like, he's a guy that is just, he's a fighter, man. He's great. And I think Buckley's going to be there to be hit, and I think he's going to win via decision. And underdog play is great. Buckley I like, but Morono I've always just loved. He's always feels like a guy who's very underrated, and the market here is showing that again. But Buckley could get in there and find something big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Morono too. The reason Morono I think is underrated is just because if you just look at him, he just doesn't look very imposing.
Yeah.
Like he's got that very average body. He's got like a normal ass haircut. Like he's just very like, I think he's very like honestly he looks a lot like Joe Lozon. He's obviously a little bigger, but
yeah.
Like they just have the very just like normal. Like it doesn't look like he looks like he like goes in the gym like after work. Like it doesn't look like he's out here like a fighter, but he's a dog. And I think part of that too. I think what happens is too with fans and just bettors is you more casual bettors, but you just look at if you just put pictures of the two. If you just ask like a random person like, oh, who do you think's gonna win the fight? You just showed a picture of Joaquin Buckley and showed a picture of Morono. I think every person would be like, oh, Buckley's gonna kill that guy. But that's not what MMA is. Like it's just totally that's not how it works.
Yeah.
I think Morono is very live here, very live, and I'll be playing him.
And then in the co-main event, the co-main event and the main event have very similar odds. The co-main event is Joe Pyfer versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Joe Pyfer, obviously, of Dana White's Contender Series fame, beat Joe Pyfer. And then later of Lee of Spinnin Backfist fame. Lee, I think, tapped him out in college or something like that. There's some story about that.
He said he pinned him easily.
Pinned him very easily. He
out-wrestled him in high school. I'm pretty sure Lee says he could beat him right now.
Said he's like a turtle on his back. Yeah.
He pinned Joe Pyfer and made him yell uncle.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Lee did something like that. Yeah. Ask Lee about that if you see him in
person. I think he twisted. He grabbed his arm and he twisted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pyfer didn't know what to do, so he made him yell uncle.
Yeah. Screamed uncle. Yeah.
He's
top of his lungs.
Dominant. He said it was one of the easiest wrestling matches of his high school career.
Yeah. Lee called him a white belt. But he is a minus 455 favorite in this fight against Razak Al Hassan. And another one where the odds are probably right on this one. I think Joe Pyfer's going to go and do Joe Pyfer shit.
Him in media days this week?
No.
He was like Joaquin Buckley, who obviously had the knockout against him. Well, Kanye West rapped about this knockout. One of the best knockouts in UFC history in terms of just all out. Oh my God. He still is like, no, Buckley's a bitch.
I kind of love that.
I respect. He just like got on the mic and was like, I fucking hate that guy, man. It's like, dude, he has like one of the biggest highlight knockouts in combat sports history.
Yeah.
Now,
no, that was Impa.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Oh,
the spinning heel kick was on Impa.
Yes, you're right about that.
But Buckley
did knock him out though. Oh no, split decision.
Okay, so then that's what it is.
So that's all right. That's more understandable then.
Yeah, then that's fine.
Split decision against someone. They beat you. You could call him a bitch still.
All that being said, Joe Pyfer should come in here and just kill him.
Yeah,
he should. I mean, obviously, Al Hassan just hits so hard. He kicks hard. He's always like live, but Pyfer is much like taller, bigger. Pyfer should not come out and should do it early, I'd imagine as well.
Yeah, I kind of like Pyfer inside the distance as a parlay piece or just a parlay piece on the under in general. You could. Abdul's a Fortis MMA guy.
They do always bring it.
That is a decent point from Casey. Joe Pyfer said this week at Media Days not Media Days, but just the, I guess Media Day. He is not going to fight anybody in the top 15 until the UFC pays him more.
Very similar to what Patty said, I thought.
Yeah.
Their comments were very similar in that, like, hey, if I could get offered an opponent that I could go in there and kill, and then I get offered a top 15 opponent and the pay is the exact same, why would I do that till I get a raise? I understand it.
Yeah. It's interesting because he was such a model of
Dana White. Joe Pyfer,
Joe Pyfer. Now
Dana White's like, maybe don't be super like Joe Pyfer.
Yeah.
That's why I found it funny, but I get his point of view.
I get it, yeah. And then the main event, Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. The odds on the UFC website are Grant Dawson minus 445, Bobby Green plus 310. That seems a bit extreme to me. I do think Grant Dawson will probably win this fight. I think he should be favored. But getting Bobby Green plus 310, I don't hate that.
Yeah, I really struggle with this because it's like I think I'm in this weird spot with betting MMA where I think Dawson's gonna win, but I just think the price is too big.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? Do I? It's the moral, not the moral, the inner dilemma. Do I take the shot on Bobby Green even though I think he's gonna lose, just because I think there's some value on the price? I don't know if I'm going to. I might just watch as a fan because I just don't see Bobby Green winning the fight. Yeah. But I don't like. I'm not. But I'm absolutely not laying -450 with Dawson. If I was gonna bet Dawson, I probably would do it by sub, or maybe if there's like a sub decision is probably almost the same as his money line, so there's not even a point in that. I'm probably not, but I might just watch as a fan. And I think kind of. I don't know. I have no problem with Dawson. I like Dawson, but if Bobby Green clipped him or something, that would be pretty awesome. Just a good.
It would be crazy. Moment. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting just from the fact of Dawson. I definitely favor highly. I think the line's pretty accurate. There seems to be a little bit of value on Bobby Green. Dawson. This is ever since he left the New Mexico gym, Jackson Wink, and went to ATT. He's been so much better. Yeah. And his performances have been really, really good and really, really not shocking. But I would say his Ismagulov performance was kind of shocking to me how good he looked. Yeah. Bobby Green, he's going to bring it, but will he be able to? The last person to take Bobby Green down is Islam. So his takedown defense isn't awful, but he usually doesn't go against wrestlers like this.
He has a wrestling base. He was a wrestler.
Yeah. Hey, so he theoretically, what does this fight look like if he can stuff a few takedowns? Then you probably look at it a little bit more like, okay, Bobby Green is the value side without a doubt. But over 5 rounds, we know Dawson's cardio is.
Bobby Green's cardio, I don't know where that's at, but I saw him on a podcast this week say he smokes 15 blunts a day. 15 blunts is a lot for one day. That might hinder the cardio.
Nate Diaz smoked a lot of blunts too.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And maybe it's just a blunt fight. Yeah. I wonder what his decision price is, I guess, on Bobby Green, if you want to sprinkle something.
I think it's got to be I bet it's a lot. I bet it's 8. What do you think? Plus 800?
Yeah,
6,
because
7, 8.
The under here is in the -200 range, under 4.5. And then Bobby Green's already a 3-1 underdog. Maybe he could.
I could see it even being 1,000 even.
Maybe he could steal a few round or two early, and then he gets that 5th round.
Yeah,
stuffs a bunch of takedowns. That being said, Dawson's
probably going to win this fight.
Yeah. Dawson appears to be also a cardio machine as well. Yeah. So even if it's 2-2 in the 5th, I feel like I would still probably. Dawson has so many more ways to win this fight. I've pointed it out: submission, decision, whatnot. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dawson really goes for that finish just due to the fact that this is his first main event. I think the UFC is kind of trying to build him up a little bit, which is interesting because he's kind of I wouldn't call him a boring guy. He's not a boring fighter.
He's just a normal guy.
He's very normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and then Bobby, but I guess they kind of look at it as if Bobby Green wins this, then we can continue to do the Bobby thing. Yeah, he's king. Yeah. But, this one, I mean, for a -400 fight, I feel like there's a lot of outcome possibilities that makes this fight interesting.
For sure. I think it's a good card. I think it's a good it'll be a fun, break, obviously. We didn't have UFC last week. Break, your football, put it on the second screen, put it on the third screen even if you need to. And we'll be tweeting about it all Saturday, so make sure to follow along, Spinnin' Backfist. Ev, safe travels back to New York. And we will see you guys on Tuesday probably for a recap of this card. And we'll talk MMA news as well. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the new channel, like the video, and shout out Monaco for being the presenting sponsor of the show.